Pride is a disastrous pitfall for a pastor, because pride basically says self is more important than God. And you exalt yourself and you make people obey your leadership and you insist that they follow your authority, and you have all the proof texts that you feel you need to make sure they all follow your leadership. That's pride. They're to follow only one. And who is that? Jesus. They're to follow Jesus. And when you have a building program and half the congregation doesn't feel like following you, don't quit the ministry because they're not following you. They're not supposed to follow you. They're supposed to follow Christ. And if they're following Christ and you've taught them how to do that, they just may be following Christ. And they may be trying to say to you, Pastor, don't tell me to pray about it if when I give you what I sense God has said, you're not going to listen. Many a pastor will say, now folks, I want you to pray about this, but you've already made up your mind, and what you're thinking is that when you come back together, they're all going to have the same opinion as you. But there are a bunch there that don't have the same opinion as you, and you start to say, why, they're just against me, and you put all of those phrases together, and some even go to the place where they say, well, if you're not going to follow my leadership, I just need to find another church. Well, they're not supposed to follow your leadership. They're supposed to follow his leadership. And when you ask them to pray, they will. And when they come back, they're going to express what they believe God said to them. And don't ever ask the people of God to pray unless you're willing to accept what God says to your people when they tell you, or you're just playing games with them. And you know the congregation's a lot smarter than you think they are. And there's some who say, you know, our pastor tells us to pray about it. We don't need to pray about it, because he's going to tell us what God told him, and then he's going to ask us all to agree with him. So we don't need to pray about it. Well, I'll tell you one thing. My congregation has saved me from a lot of sin in my own life, where I was seeking the face of God and pride was there. And there are many, I would say 8 out of 10, I don't know how you find it, but about 8 out of 10 pastors that I say, how are things going? 8 out of 10 pastors tell me a building program they're in. And I say, that's not what I asked you. I'm asking a different question. What's happening between you and the Lord? Well, we're building a building. What's that got to do with the kingdom? Could there be a difference? There sure could. And our pride wants to be able to say, now when I got here, and since I've come, as if to say, my presence, when I came, God came. Pride. Folks, it'll cancel your ministry.